and we'll keep drifting, floating together through the mysteries, Megalodon Mysteries, looping softly, endlessly through the night. Tonight we'll drift through lost Megalodon hunting grounds, giant teeth discoveries, fossilized evidence of colossal battles. There's nothing you need to do now. Just let your body sink, heavier. Feel the mattress holding you, every muscle softening, your heartbeat slowing, thump, thump, matching the rhythm of space itself. Shoulders melting down, jaw releasing, each breath pulling you deeper, deeper into the calm, the quiet, the dark. If this helps you rest, tap subscribe, comment, and hit like, so others can find this calm too. But only if your eyes are still open. Otherwise, just drift. Now, let's drift into Megalodon. 23 million years ago, when the world was younger, warmer, the oceans held something vast, something that moved through the water like a shadow made of teeth. Carcaracle's Megalodon, the megatooth shark. Its name means simply giant tooth, and that's what we found first. Teeth, scattered across the ocean floor, washing up on beaches, buried in ancient sediments, each one larger than your hand, heavier, heavier, sinking into the sand like stone, like memories. These teeth tell stories, whisper secrets, if you know how to listen. And tonight we're listening, drifting through the evidence, piece by piece, breath by breath. A single Megalodon tooth can measure 7 inches long, sometimes more, triangular, serrated edges like tiny mountains, designed to slice through flesh, through bone, through the warm waters of the Miocene epoch. Feel your breath, slow, steady, in, out, like the tides that buried these ancient hunters. The scientists believe, and belief is such a soft word, that Megalodon reached lengths of 50 to 60 feet, perhaps even larger, 3 times the size of today's great white shark. Imagine that. Don't picture it too clearly though. Just let the vastness wash over you. Heavier, heavier. Your eyelids growing heavy like the deep water where Megalodon once patrolled. 3 times longer, 10 times the mass. A creature so large it changed the ocean around it simply by moving through. Your muscles are releasing now, letting go the way sediment releases fossils after millions of years. Megalodon teeth are the most commonly found fossils of this creature, because sharks, these ancient ghosts, they don't have bones, not true bones. Their skeletons were made of cartilage, softer, more flexible, and cartilage doesn't fossilize well. It dissolves, disappears, returns to the water. So we have teeth, thousands upon thousands of teeth, each one a little monument, a tiny gravestone marking where something immense once lived. Thump, thump, your heartbeat, slower now. Megalodon could produce up to 40,000 teeth in its lifetime. They grew in rows, conveyor belts of daggers. When one tooth broke or fell out, another rotated forward to take its place. Nature's perfect replacement system. Every 2 weeks, a new tooth, growing, emerging, ready. The ocean floor must have been carpeted with them, glinting in the filtered light, settling into the sand, waiting for us to find them millions of years later. Drift deeper now into the Miocene, 15 million years ago. The oceans were warmer then, 4 to 7 degrees Celsius warmer than today. Megalodon preferred these warmer waters, tropical and subtropical seas, where their massive bodies could maintain the energy needed for such size. They were mesothermic, meaning they could keep their body temperature higher than the surrounding water, like a warm thought floating in cold space. This gave them advantages: speed, power, the ability to hunt in varying temperatures, but it also meant they needed more food, more energy, more prey. Your breathing is so gentle now, barely a whisper, like waves on ancient shores. Megalodon's primary prey, the creatures that fueled this magnificent engine, were whales. Not the baleen whales we know today, but smaller cetaceans, primitive whales with teeth of their own, marine mammals that swam in herds through the warm waters, unaware of the shadow rising beneath them. Scientists have found whale bones, fossilized ribs and vertebrae with megalodon tooth marks carved into them, perfect impressions, brutal and beautiful, evidence of attacks that happened 15 million years ago, preserved in stone, in time, forever. Feel yourself sinking into the soft darkness. Megalodon's hunting strategy was sophisticated, calculated. They would attack from below, targeting the flippers and tail flukes of whales first, disabling their prey, preventing escape. Bite force estimates, and these numbers are just whispers in the dark, suggest Megalodon could exert between 10 and 18 metric tons of pressure, the strongest bite force of any creature that has ever lived, 3 times more powerful than a Tyrannosaurus Rex, 6 times stronger than a modern great white, enough force to crush a small car or the ribcage of a prehistoric whale. Let that power wash over you, not frightening, just vast, ancient. Your body is so heavy now, so relaxed. Megalodon's teeth weren't just large, they were engineered, shaped over millions of years of evolution. The serrations along the edges, tiny points, worked like a saw, cutting through flesh and blubber with ease. Different teeth in different parts of the jaw served different purposes. The front teeth were for gripping, grasping, holding prey in place. The side teeth for cutting, slicing, dismembering. A complete hunting tool, a perfect machine. Breathe. Just breathe. Megalodon fossils have been found on every continent except Antarctica, though even there, in the waters offshore, they likely swam. Their teeth wash up on beaches in North Carolina, Maryland, Florida, South Carolina. Each discovery a small portal to the past. In South America, along the coasts of Chile and Peru, massive teeth emerge from cliff sides. In Europe, Belgium and the Netherlands yield specimens. In Asia, in Africa, in Australia, everywhere the warm oceans reached, Megalodon followed. Your eyelids are so heavy, heavier. The largest Megalodon tooth ever found measured 7.48 inches, found in Peru, held in a museum now, behind glass, a monument to immensity. Most teeth are smaller, 3 to 5 inches, still impressive, still capable of creating that sense of awe, that quiet wonder. But that largest tooth, it suggests a shark perhaps 70 feet long or more. The mathematics of estimation, tooth size correlating to body length, all based on the proportions we see in modern sharks, on assumptions, on educated guesses whispered across time. Drift, drift. Megalodon belonged to the order Lamniform, the mackerel sharks, related to modern macos and great whites, though some scientists debate this, suggesting instead a relationship to the extinct Cretoxyrhina, the Ginsu shark of the Cretaceous. The taxonomy shifts, changes, as new evidence emerges from the earth, from the stone. But the name that holds, Carcharicles megalodon, the megatooth, stands firm. Your body is melting into the bed, becoming one with it. The growth rate of Megalodon was remarkable. Juveniles may have been born at lengths of 6 to 7 feet, already larger than many adult sharks today. They grew rapidly, perhaps 16 inches per year in their early years, reaching sexual maturity around 25 years old, and living, possibly, for 70 to 100 years. A century of hunting, of ruling the oceans, of being the apex, the absolute top of the food chain. Thump, thump, slower, slower. Megalodon's sensory capabilities were extraordinary. Like modern sharks, they possessed electroreception, the ability to detect electrical fields produced by living creatures. Imagine floating in dark water, blind, but feeling every heartbeat, every muscle contraction of prey hundreds of feet away. The ampullae of Lorenzini, tiny jelly-filled pores around the snout, detecting the faintest electrical signals. 1/1,000,000th of a volt, enough to sense, to know, to strike. Their sense of smell was equally refined. They could detect 1 part blood in 100 million parts water. A single drop of blood, miles away, carried on currents, drawing them closer, your own breath, in, out, so calm now, so peaceful. Megalodon's nostrils were positioned for maximum water flow, analyzing, processing, building a chemical map of the ocean around them. Prey to the left, prey ahead, prey, always prey. Let go, just let go. Megalodon's eyes were adapted for deep water hunting, larger than a human fist, positioned on the sides of their massive heads, providing wide fields of vision. They could see well in low light, in the dim blue of deeper waters, where they would ambush prey from below, rising from the darkness, a nightmare made manifest. But we're not afraid. We're just drifting, observing from a safe distance of 23 million years. The jaw mechanics of Megalodon were extraordinary. Their jaws could open to nearly 90 degrees, creating a gape of over 6 feet in diameter, wide enough to swallow a small car or 2 humans standing side by side. The jaw was loosely attached to the skull, allowing it to protrude forward during a bite, extending their reach, capturing prey that might otherwise escape. This is called jaw protrusion, and it's something modern sharks still possess, an inheritance from their giant ancestor. Your thoughts are becoming softer, vaguer, like memories of dreams. The vertebrae of Megalodon, rare fossils. Tell us about their size, their growth. Each vertebra was disc-shaped, porous, made of cartilage that calcified just enough to sometimes fossilize. Counting the growth rings in these vertebrae, like counting rings in trees, scientists can estimate age, can track growth patterns, can whisper numbers across the void of time. Some vertebrae measure over 6 inches in diameter, supporting that massive tail, that engine of destruction and grace. Megalodon's tail was heterocircle, with an upper lobe and lower lobe, but likely more symmetrical than earlier sharks, providing thrust. Speed! Power! Swimming speed estimates suggest they could cruise at around 11 miles per hour, with burst speeds potentially reaching 35 miles per hour when attacking. Fast enough, powerful enough to catch anything in these ancient seas. Feel the rhythm of that tail, back and forth, like you're breathing. In, out, slow, steady, inevitable. The skin of Megalodon, we can only imagine, but based on modern sharks, it would have been covered in dermal denticles, tiny tooth-like scales, creating a rough texture, reducing drag in the water. These scales would have pointed toward the tail, creating a one-directional texture. Smooth if you stroked from head to tail, rough as sandpaper in the reverse. Another adaptation, another optimization, millions of years in the making, coloration. We'll never know for certain, but we can guess, can dream in soft greys and blues. Modern pelagic sharks are countershaded, dark on top, light below, camouflage from above and below. Megalodon likely possesses similar coloration, dark grey or blue-grey dorsally, lighter ventrally, blending with the ocean, becoming water itself, invisible until too late. Your consciousness is drifting now, floating between sleep and waking. Megalodon's brain was proportionally smaller than modern great whites, but still substantial, still sufficient for complex hunting behaviors, for migration, for territory. They likely possess spatial memory, could return to productive hunting grounds, could learn, adapt, optimize. The olfactory bulbs in their brain were large, processing that constant stream of chemical information, that map of scent, of blood, of life in the water, migration patterns. We reconstruct from fossil distribution, from seasonal deposits. Megalodon likely moved with the warming and cooling of waters, following prey populations, traveling thousands of miles, from breeding grounds to feeding grounds and back again. Year after year, century after century, your own body is so still now, so quiet, hardly moving, hardly breathing, just existing in this moment between moments. Hunting grounds. Oh, the hunting grounds. Shallow coastal waters were nurseries, safe zones where juvenile megalodons could grow, feeding on smaller prey, fish, rays, turtles, protected from larger predators, even from adult megalodons, because cannibalism, that dark possibility, may have shaped their behavior, may have driven the young to safer waters. Fossil evidence from Panama, from Florida, from California shows concentrations of juvenile teeth, nursery fossils, marking safe havens in ancient seas. Adult megalodons hunted deeper waters, open ocean, following whale migrations, tracking the great herds of cetaceans that once filled the Miocene seas. They were ambush predators, patient, rising from below, striking with calculated precision. They were also active hunters, capable of chasing down prey, of pursuing, of never giving up. The ocean was theirs, entirely, completely, without question. Competition existed, other sharks, other predators, but none could challenge Megalodon directly. Bricmophyseta, a predatory sperm whale, may have competed for similar prey, but even these formidable hunters would have been wary of a full-grown megalodon. The ancient seas held other large sharks, but smaller, always smaller. Megalodon was singular, alone at the top, a position held for nearly 20 million years. Feel that time, that vast expanse, washing over you like warm water. The Pliocene epoch, 5 to 2.6 million years ago, brought changes. The world was cooling, ice ages beginning their rhythmic dance, ocean temperatures dropping, whale populations shifting, migrating to colder waters where Megalodon could not follow as easily. The warm, shallow seas, Megalodon's preferred habitat, were shrinking, contracting. The great sharks began to disappear, gradually, inexorably, following the warmth, finding less prey, struggling to maintain their enormous metabolisms in a changing world. Your breathing is so shallow now, barely there, barely real. Extinction theories multiply, stack upon each other. No single cause, but a cascade, a perfect storm of change, cooling oceans, yes, changing prey distribution, yes, but also competition from new predators, orcas, killer whales, smaller, faster, hunting in coordinated pods. These highly intelligent cetaceans may have targeted juvenile megalodons, preventing them from reaching adulthood, breaking the reproductive cycle, and great white sharks, emerging, smaller, more efficient, able to survive in cooler waters, outcompeting Megalodon in the changing seas. The last megalodon fossils we find date to approximately 3.6 million years ago, possibly 2.6 million years ago. The dates shift, blur, as dating techniques improve, as new fossils emerge, but that's when they vanished, when the oceans finally became too cold, too empty of appropriate prey, too hostile to their immense energy requirements. They didn't die out suddenly, but faded, generation by generation, until one day, the last megalodon swam alone through cooling waters, searching for prey that no longer existed, for warmth that had fled north and south to the poles. And then, silence. The age of giants was over. Or was it? Myths persist, legends whisper. Sailors throughout history reported massive sharks, creatures that seemed too large to be real. The Carcharodon Megalodon sighting claims, ships disappearing, but the ocean is vast, and we know so little of it. Still, the science is clear. Megalodon is extinct, gone, preserved only in stone, in teeth, in the marks they left on fossilized bones, in our imaginations as we drift into sleep. Museums around the world display megalodon fossils, reconstructed jaws, massive and circular, large enough to walk through. These reconstructions, based on the size and arrangement of teeth, create an impression, a glimpse of what it might have been like to face such a creature. The American Museum of Natural History, the Smithsonian, the British Museum of Natural History, all house specimens, teeth, vertebrae, each one carefully preserved, catalogued, studied, loved by scientists who dedicate their lives to understanding these ancient ghosts. The trading of megalodon teeth has a long history. Beachcombers and fossil hunters, professional and amateur, search shorelines, dive in shallow waters, excavate cliff faces, seeking these treasures, a perfect specimen, large, complete, with good serrations, can sell for thousands of dollars. Collectors prize them, display them, but the best specimens, those belong in museums, in universities, where they can be studied, where they can teach us, where they can whisper their secrets to future generations. Fossilization of megalodon teeth occurred when, after death, after settling to the ocean floor, minerals in the sediment slowly replaced the original tooth material, molecule by molecule. The enamel, already incredibly hard, made excellent fossils, preserving fine details, serrations, wear patterns. The color of fossilized teeth varies: black, brown, gray, cream, tan, depending on the minerals present in the sediment. Iron creates browns and reds, phosphate creates blacks, each tooth a tiny work of art, a sculpture made by time and chemistry. Identification of megalodon teeth. When you find one, feel that weight in your hand. Look for the triangular shape, the robust root, the serrations along the cutting edge, the size, always the size, distinguishes them from great white teeth, from other fossil sharks. Hold it. Feel the weight of history. Heavier, heavier, sinking into your palm like a stone, like a star. Your body is barely here now, barely tethered, floating in darkness. Megalodon in popular culture exploded in the late 20th century. Films, documentaries, novels. The 2018 film The Meg imagined one surviving in the Mariana Trench, a fun fantasy, but just that, fantasy. The deep trenches are too cold, too devoid of prey. A megalodon could never survive there, but we loved the idea, the possibility, the thrill of imagining such power still exists somewhere in our world. Books like Steve Alton's Meg series captivated readers, spinning tales of surviving megalodons, of encounters, of terror and wonder. These stories, while fiction, sparked interest, drew people to learn about the real creature, about paleontology, about the ancient oceans. And that's beautiful, that connection between imagination and science, between fear and fascination. Documentaries attempt reconstruction, using CGI, using fossil evidence, creating moving images of how Megalodon might have swum, hunted, lived. Discovery Channel's Shark Week features them regularly. Each documentary, each recreation, brings us closer to understanding, or at least closer to imagining. And as you drift, you can imagine too. See that shadow in the deep water. Feel the displacement of water as something vast moves past. But it's just a dream, just a soft thought, fading into sleep. Scientific debates continue, even now, even after millions of years. Was Megalodon more closely related to the Great White, or to the ancient Meko lineage? Did they give live birth or lay eggs? Modern large sharks are viviparous, bearing live young, and Megalodon likely was too, but we have no direct evidence, no fossilized evidence of pregnancy, just inference, educated guesses, whispers of possibility. The ecological impact of Megalodon on their environment was profound. As apex predators, they controlled prey populations, maintained balance. Their hunting kept whale populations in check, prevented overgrazing of the ocean's resources. When they went extinct, that balance shifted, changed, perhaps allowing whale populations to grow, to diversify, to become the giants we see today. Blue whales, the largest animals ever to exist, emerged after Megalodon was gone. Perhaps they could only exist in a world without Megalodon. Bite marks on fossilized whale bones tell vivid stories. The spacing of teeth, the depth of gouges, the patterns of attack. Scientists can reconstruct entire hunting sequences from these marks, can see where Megalodon bit first, then again. Some whale bones show evidence of survival, healed bite marks, proving some prey escaped, lived with their scars. Proof that even Megalodon, perfect predator, didn't always succeed. Even giants fail sometimes, and that's okay. That's just the way of things. Your thoughts are dissolving now, like foam on water. Megalodon's territorial behavior, we can only guess, based on modern sharks, based on distribution patterns. They likely maintained hunting territories, driving away rivals, possibly through displays of size, through aggression. Adult megalodons may have been solitary, encountering each other only to mate. otherwise patrolling vast sections of ocean alone, lords of empty kingdoms. Population density must have been low. A creature so large, requiring so much food, could not exist in high numbers. Perhaps one megalodon per several hundred square miles of ocean, perhaps fewer. They would have been rare, even in their own time. Even when they ruled the seas, they were ghosts, shadows, rarely seen, always felt. Reproduction, we imagine based on modern sharks. Internal fertilization, males possessing claspers, modified fins used to transfer sperm, gestation lasting, perhaps a year, perhaps longer, giving birth to a small number of large pups, 6 to 7 feet long, born ready to hunt, to survive, but needing those nursery grounds, those safe shallow waters, to grow, to learn, to become. The lifespan of a century seems long to us, but for a megalodon, decades spent growing, decades spent hunting, decades ruling the ocean, and then old age, slowing, weakening, perhaps in the end, starving, unable to catch the swift prey, or dying from injury, from infected wounds, from parasites, from the 1,000 natural deaths that claim all living things, even giants, even legends. Feel yourself letting go, releasing, your breathing so slow, so soft, barely moving air, barely making sound. Megalodon teeth, regeneration, that endless supply, 40,000 teeth, 2 teeth per week, a lifetime spent replacing, renewing. The broken teeth would fall, drift to the bottom, join the thousands, millions, already there, already waiting for someone, someday, to find them, to wonder, to dream. The fossil record shows us glimpses, scattered teeth, rare vertebrae, those bite marks on prey bones. But most of the megalodon's life, most of their story, remains hidden, dissolved by time. Returned to the water, we see only fragments, and from fragments we reconstruct, we imagine, we dream. And sometimes the dream is more powerful than the truth. Sometimes the mystery is enough. Your body has become the bed has become night, and still we drift through deeper waters, through darker mysteries, through the realm where science blends with wonder, where facts dissolve into dreams, where a giant shark swims eternally through the oceans of our imagination, never dying, never fading, always, just below the surface, just beyond vision, a shadow made of teeth, waiting, but waiting gently now, peacefully. The violence of predation transformed by time into beauty, into curiosity, into this soft, dark moment where you float, suspended between waking and sleep. Your heartbeat, thump, thump, so slow now, matching the rhythm of ancient tides, the same tides that carried Megalodon, that buried their teeth in sand, that brought them here, to us, to now, to this moment. Breathe and let the darkness hold you. Megalodon swims still, in museums, in books, in films, in the dreams of children and scientists, in the deep place in our minds where wonder lives. And that's enough. That's everything. The creature may be gone, but the mystery remains eternal, looping as we drift, as we float, as we sink deeper, deeper still, into the waters of sleep, where Megalodon waits, not threatening, but guiding, showing us the way down, down into rest, into dreams. The ancient ocean is calling, and we answer, we always answer, letting go of the surface world, of tension, of thought, becoming nothing but breath, nothing but heartbeat, nothing but the soft darkness behind closed eyes. The teeth, imagine them, scattered across the ocean floor, millions of them, glinting faintly in the filtered light, each one a doorway to the past, each one proof that giants walked, swam, ruled, and then surrendered to time, as all things must, as even you must, surrendering to sleep, to rest, to the deep. The Megalodon's reign lasted 20 million years, and your consciousness, it can let go for just a few hours, can surrender, can drift, and in drifting we find peace. In the mystery we find calm. In the darkness of ancient seas we find rest. Megalodon, the megatooth, the giant, the shadow, the legend, swims on, eternal in memory, frozen in stone, alive in imagination. And you float alongside, breathing in rhythm with the tides, heartbeat matching the pulse of vanished waves, sinking, heavier, softer, into the welcoming dark. The fossil discoveries continue. Even now, new beaches erode, reveal ancient sediments, and suddenly, another tooth, another glimpse, another small piece of the puzzle. The work of understanding never ends. The mystery always deepens. There is always more to learn, more to discover. But not tonight. Tonight is for drifting, for letting the questions fade, for allowing the ancient oceans to hold you, to carry you, to pull you down, gently, inevitably, into sleep. Thump, thump, your heart barely whispering. Megalodon's heart was enormous, pumping blood through that massive body, through miles of blood vessels, keeping every cell alive, keeping the engine running. And then it stopped. 3 million years ago, the last heartbeat, the last breath, the last hunt, and silence fell across the oceans, a silence we still feel, a void we still sense when we look at those massive teeth, when we imagine the shadows, when we drift, as we're drifting now, through the spaces they left behind. Their competition with emerging great whites intensified in the Pliocene. These smaller sharks, more adaptable, more efficient in cooling waters, began to fill ecological niches, began to thrive where Megalodon struggled. Natural selection, cold and impartial, favoured the smaller, the more versatile. And so the titans fell, and the lesser, the leaner, inherited the seas. It's the way of all things, cycles within cycles, endings that are also beginnings. As you end your waking day, you begin the journey into dreams, one thing falling away, another rising to take its place. the ancient turtles that swam in Megalodon's time, Archelon, Protostega, giants themselves, some 12 feet long. Even these, even creatures with thick shells, would have been prey. Megalodon's bite force crushing through shell, through bone, through anything that lived in the water. But the turtles evolved too, adapted, survived, outlasted their predator. And that's somehow beautiful. The prey outliving the hunter, the small inheriting, the gentle persisting, while the mighty fade, drift, disappear into giant rays, cartilaginous cousins, also shared those waters. Manta rays, stingrays, some quite large. Would Megalodon have eaten them? Likely yes, opportunistically. A ray gliding over a sandy bottom, unaware, and then the shadow, the rush, the end. But mostly, Megalodon wanted whales, craved that rich blubber, that concentrated energy. Everything else was supplemental, occasional, the way you might snack between meals, barely remembering, barely aware. Your awareness is so thin now, so fragile, like mist over water. Megalodon's growth stages: infant, juvenile, subadult, adult, each stage with its own challenges, its own dangers. The infant, born large, but vulnerable, staying in shallow nurseries. The juvenile, venturing deeper, learning to hunt, building skills. The subadult, beginning to challenge, to compete. The adult, magnificent, unstoppable, ruling absolutely until age, until the world changed, until the end. And you're entering your own stage, the stage of sleep, the stage of rest, where consciousness fades and dreams begin, where the world dissolves and the ocean of the unconscious rises to embrace you, and Megalodon swims there too, in that ocean, in that dream space, eternal, unchanging, always hunting, always present, a symbol of power, of time, of the deep, of mystery, of everything we can't fully understand, can't fully know, can only drift past, observing, wondering, fading. The hunting strategies varied by prey, by situation. For large whales, the attack from below, disabling the flukes. For smaller prey, different approaches. Sometimes a rush from the side, sometimes from ahead. Always calculated, always efficient. Millions of years of evolution creating the perfect hunter, the ultimate predator, and then extinction, proving that perfection is temporary, that ultimate is illusion, that everything eventually surrenders to change, as you surrender now to sleep, to rest, to the darkness that holds no threat, only comfort, only peace. The Megalodon has surrendered too, has let go, has become fossil, become legend, become dream, and in dreams it lives forever, swimming through the unconscious, through the dark waters of sleep, guiding you deeper, always deeper, into rest, into the place where the day dissolves, where worries vanish, where only the gentle rhythm remains. Thump, thump, breath, pause, breath, pause. The coastal hunting grounds, warm shallows where prey was abundant, where juvenile sharks could learn, where the cycle perpetuated. These areas, we can identify them in the fossil record by concentrations of teeth, by diversity of prey remains, by the story written in stone and sediment. Panama, Florida, California, Peru, Chile, Australia, all marked, all remembered, all still there, waiting under modern waters, under modern sand, for patient seekers, for those who know how to look, how to listen, how to dream. And you're listening now to the silence, to the darkness, to the rhythm of your own body slowing, preparing, transitioning from waking to sleeping, from thought to dream, from the world of Megalodon facts and mysteries to the world of Megalodon as symbol, as metaphor, as the great darkness that holds us, that carries us, that pulls us down, gently, inevitably, into the deep, where we need to go, where rest waits, where healing happens, where the conscious mind releases control, and the ancient parts of the brain, the parts we share with sharks, with fish, with all life that came from water, take over, maintaining breath, maintaining heartbeat, maintaining life, while you, the you that thinks, that worries, that plans, dissolves, drifts away, becomes nothing, becomes everything, becomes one with the darkness, with the deep, with the mystery, the eternal mystery of Megalodon, swimming always, just beyond sight, just below consciousness, in the ocean of dreams, where we're headed now, where we're arriving, where we belong, where we've always belonged, in the water, in the darkness, in the realm of dreams. Your eyes are closed now, or closing, doesn't matter. Either way, the darkness is the same. Soft, complete, like the darkness at the bottom of the Miocene seas, where Megalodon's shadow passed over ancient coral, over forgotten creatures, over sand that would become stone, that would hold secrets for millions of years, until now, until this moment, as you drift, as you float, as you descend into sleep. The scientific legacy of Megalodon extends beyond paleontology, beyond marine biology, into our understanding of predation itself, of apex predators, of ecosystem dynamics. Computer simulations model their hunting, their movement, feeding data into algorithms that recreate, that imagine, that show us what cameras never could. These simulations reveal efficiency, reveal strategy, reveal intelligence we can only approximate, only dream about, as you're dreaming now, softly, gently, letting the images wash for you like warm water. Thump, thump. Marine sediment analysis tells stories too. Layers of sediment, each one a page in Earth's diary. Scientists core through these layers, extracting cylinders of compressed time, reading the chemical signatures, the fossil assemblages, the grain sizes, each detail revealing temperature, sea level, the presence or absence of certain creatures. In some layers, megalodon teeth appear frequently. In others, they vanish. The story of rise and fall, written in mud, in sand, in time compressed to stone. Your body is so still, so quiet. Megalodon teeth appear in jewelry now, set in silver, set in gold. A fossilized tooth, 20 million years old, hanging around someone's neck, bridging time, connecting past to present. Some people believe these teeth carry power, protection, strength. And perhaps they do. Not magical power, but the power of connection, of remembrance, of carrying a piece of deep time against your skin, against your heart. Thump, thump, slower now, slower. The fossil auction market treats large megalodon teeth as treasures. A perfect specimen, 7 inches, excellent serrations, good colour, can sell for $10,000, sometimes more. Collectors compete, bid, driven by the desire to possess, to own a piece of the ancient. But the best specimens, the scientifically important ones, those should remain in institutions, should be studied, should teach, should serve knowledge rather than vanity. Let them go. Let everything go. Sinking, drifting. Fossil hunting expeditions, organized groups, weekend warriors, professional paleontologists, all searching, walking beaches after storms, diving in rivers, excavating cliffsides. The thrill of discovery, of finding, of holding something no human has touched in millions of years. Imagine that moment, your fingers brushing sand away, revealing the triangular shape, the serrations, the weight, heavier, heavier in your hand. A gift from time, from the deep, from Megalodon itself. Breath so soft, barely there. Tooth identification can be tricky. Great white teeth look similar, but smaller, more slender. Megalodon teeth are robust, thick, powerful. The root is solid, substantial. The serrations are coarser, more defined, and the size, always the size. Anything over 4 inches is almost certainly Megalodon. The weight in your palm, heavier than expected, denser than modern teeth, mineralized, petrified, transformed by time and pressure into something between tooth and stone. Fossil misidentifications happen, especially with partial teeth, worn teeth, damaged specimens. A large great white tooth might be called Megalodon, or a Megalodon tooth, eroded, might be dismissed as something else. This is why context matters. Where it was found, what rock layer, what other fossils were present. The matrix tells the story. The sediment whispers the truth. If you know how to listen, how to drift, how to let the information flow through you like water, your breathing is barely a whisper, barely a movement. Megalodon's interaction with seabirds, we can only imagine. Giant penguins, larger than modern ones, swam in those waters, diving for fish, surfacing. Would Megalodon have taken them? Possibly, opportunistically. A bird on the surface, an easy meal. But birds weren't their focus, weren't their prey of choice. just occasional snacks, forgotten moments in an endless hunt. The underwater reconstructions, created by artists, by CGI specialists, attempt to show us what Megalodon looked like alive, swimming, hunting, existing. They use modern sharks as templates, apply known dimensions, add the massive size. The results are stunning, terrifying, beautiful. A creature that seems impossible, yet was real, was here, was the ocean's ultimate creation, until it wasn't, until the ocean changed its mind, chose new favorites, new champions, smaller, more adaptable, more fitted to a cooling world. Feel the coolness, the soft darkness. Megalodon versus modern apex predators is a popular thought experiment. Could Megalodon defeat an orcapod in a direct fight? Probably. The sheer size, the bite force. But orcas hunt in groups, coordinate, strategize. They would target a juvenile, isolate it, work together. Intelligence versus raw power. Adaptation versus specialization, the eternal dance of evolution, playing out in dark water as you drift through dark consciousness, sinking, letting go, thump, thump, ancient art, petroglyphs, cave paintings. Do any show sharks, perhaps, ambiguous figures that might be, might not be. We want to believe ancient peoples found these teeth, wondered, created myths, and surely they did. A massive tooth, larger than any shark they'd ever seen, must have seemed magical, divine, a dragon's tooth, a sea monster's remnant, proof that the ocean held mysteries, held giants, held terror, but also wonder, also beauty, also this strange pull toward the deep, the dark, the unknown. Cultural impact reverberates through time. The word Megalodon has become synonymous with giant, with powerful, with ultimate. Companies use the name. Products, boats, software, all borrowing that sense of dominance, of being the biggest, the best, the apex. Even in extinction, Megalodon exerts influence, shapes culture, lives in our collective imagination, swims through our dreams as it swims now, through your dream, pulling you deeper, calling you down. Your muscles have forgotten how to move, forgotten tension. Predator-prey dynamics in Megalodon's time were complex, webs of interaction. Megalodon ate whales, but what ate juvenile megalodons? Other sharks, large predatory fish, even adult megalodons. Cannibalism may have been common, the young fleeing to shallow nurseries, growing, surviving until large enough to be safe, to be the threat rather than the threatened. Life was struggle, even for giants, even for the perfect predator. The ocean ecosystem role of Megalodon was crucial. They controlled prey populations, prevented any one species from dominating. Their presence shaped whale behavior, migration patterns, breeding strategies. When they vanished, that pressure released. The ecosystem restructured, reorganized, new balances formed, new dynamics. The ocean recovered, adapted, continued. Life always continues even when giants fall, Even when legends end, even as you end your waking day, life continues, breath continues, heartbeat continues, thump, thump, automatic, eternal. Megalodon's comparison to prehistoric dolphins, not direct competitors. Dolphins were smaller, faster, different niche, but they shared the water, shared the space. Perhaps young dolphins fell to Megalodon occasionally. Perhaps they learned to avoid certain areas, certain depths. The ocean was layered with territories, just with danger zones, with safe passages. Every creature learning, adapting, surviving, or not. The ones that survived passed on their knowledge, their instincts, their fear, all the way down to us, who still fear the deep water, still sense the presence of something vast, something hunting. Even though Megalodon is gone, the memory remains, coded in our DNA, in our dreams. Drift, deeper, darker. Bite patterns on fossilized bones reveal so much. The spacing of teeth, the angle of attack, the force applied. Scientists measure, calculate, recreate, seeing the hunt unfold in their minds. A whale swimming, unaware. Then suddenly the pressure wave, the displacement of water, warning of something massive approaching. Too late, the jaws close, teeth pierce. Some are pristine, perfect, perhaps lost early, replaced quickly. Each tooth a story, if you know how to read it. But reading takes effort, and effort is impossible now. Now is for drifting, for letting go, for sleep. Climate shifts throughout the Miocene and Pliocene affected everything. Ocean currents changed, temperature gradients steepened, the Antarctic circumpolar current strengthened, isolating cold water around Antarctica. Warm water retreated toward the equator. Megalodon's habitat shrank, compressed. Their prey followed the warmth or adapted to the cold, leaving Megalodon behind, stranded in warming pools, hunting dwindling populations. The world changed, and they couldn't change fast enough, couldn't adapt quickly enough. Evolution works over thousands of generations, but the climate shifts happened faster, too fast, and so, extinction. Thump, thump, your heart barely noticeable. Fossil scanning technology has revolutionized paleontology. CT scans reveal internal structure, growth patterns, pathologies. Scientists can examine the inside of teeth, of vertebrae, without destroying them, can see details invisible to the naked eye, can peer into the past with unprecedented clarity. Each scan generates data, terabytes of information, three-dimensional models that can be shared, studied, manipulated. The fossils become digital, immortal, accessible to researchers worldwide. Megalodon democratized, available to anyone with internet, with curiosity, with the desire to know. But knowing isn't sleep, and sleep is what we're seeking, what we're finding, what's finding us. The darkness is complete now, enveloping. You're barely aware, barely present, mostly gone, mostly drifting in that space between. that liminal zone where Megalodon swims eternal, where all extinct creatures live, where the past is always present, always real, always just below the surface. Megalodon mysteries remain unsolved. Will we ever find a complete skeleton? Unlikely. Cartilage doesn't preserve, but perhaps somewhere, in perfect conditions, minerals preserved enough to give us a complete picture. Hope persists, as it always does. What was their exact relationship to other sharks? The family tree remains debated, argued, revised. What were their breeding behaviors? How did they choose mates? How often did they reproduce? Questions, floating unanswered, drifting like you're drifting, into darkness, into uncertainty, into the beautiful mystery of not knowing, of accepting the gaps, the silence, the spaces where knowledge ends and wonder begins. Your body is the bed, is the darkness, is the ocean. Megalodon in documentaries appears regularly. Each new documentary promises to reveal secrets, to show us something new, and sometimes they do. New CGI, new expert interviews, new theories, but mostly they recycle the same information, the same awe, the same fear and fascination, and that's okay. Some stories deserve retelling, some mysteries deserve revisiting, each generation discovering Megalodon anew, feeling that same sense of wonder, of impossibility, of this was real, this existed, this dominated. Sailors' legends throughout history mention giant sharks. The persistence of these stories, even into modern times, suggests something deep in us, some archetypal fear, some recognition that the ocean holds terrors. Though Megalodon is extinct, the legend never died. The shadow it cast was too long, too dark, too profound. Even now, when someone speaks of a giant shark, Megalodon comes to mind. The name alone conjures images, feelings, this soft fear mixed with fascination, as you mix wake with sleep, consciousness with dream, reality with the eternal ocean of the unconscious. Breath, barely. Megalodon versus thresher sharks. No contest. Thresher sharks, even the largest, would be small prey, a snack. But threshers are beautiful, graceful. That massive tail used like a whip to stun fish. A different strategy, different niche. They coexisted, sharing the ocean, never competing. Size isn't everything. Adaptation is. Efficiency is. The thresher adapted, survived, still exists, while Megalodon, the giant, the dominant, fell. Sometimes smaller is better, sometimes less is more, sometimes surrendering to sleep, to rest, to vulnerability is the wisest choice. Let go. Let go. Attack simulations using computer models. Test theories. If Megalodon attacked this way, how would the prey respond? If prey moved this way, how would Megalodon adapt? Back and forth. Action and reaction. The simulations run thousands of times, generating probabilities, likelihoods, best strategies. The computer doesn't sleep, but you do. You must. You're almost there now. almost completely gone. Just echoes of consciousness remaining, faint awareness floating in vast darkness. Fossil collection ethics matter deeply. Taking fossils removes them from scientific context, from public lands, from the story they help tell. Private collectors, those who hoard, who hide their finds, damage science, damage knowledge. But those who donate, who share, who work with institutions, they help, they contribute. There's a balance, a middle path, as in all things. Take what you need, leave what you can, share the wonder, preserve the knowledge, and mostly just appreciate, just observe, just drift past the ancient bones, the ancient teeth, leaving them undisturbed, letting them rest as you're resting, as we're all resting, in the dark, in the quiet, in the peace. Thump, thump. Megalodon fossils in South America tell of tropical seas, of warm currents, of abundant prey. Chile, Peru, Colombia, Venezuela, all yielding specimens, teeth washing from cliffsides, eroding from ancient beaches now high above the sea. The earth lifted them, geological forces pushing seabed to mountain, fossil to air, and now they fall, tumble, return toward the ocean. The cycle continues, will continue, long after we're gone, long after everything we know has become fossil, has become mystery, has become someone else's story. African fossils, Morocco especially, produces beautiful specimens. The phosphate mines, workers digging, finding teeth, giant teeth, perfect teeth, flowing into markets, into collections, each one a piece of African prehistory, when the teethless sea covered regions now desert, now dry. The ocean was everywhere once, will be everywhere again, given enough time. Water rises, falls, spreads, retreats, continents drift, climates shift. Nothing is permanent, nothing is stable, except change, except transformation, except this moment, this breath, this heartbeat, thump, thump, fading, fading. North American fossils are abundant, accessible. The Atlantic coastal plain, the Gulf Coast, California, all rich in Megalodon remains. The Calvert Cliffs in Maryland, famous. People walk beaches, find teeth. Sharktooth Hill in California, layers of teeth, compressed, concentrated, ancient killing grounds now revealed. The earth gives up its secrets slowly, reluctantly. We must be patient, must dig, must search, must wait, like waiting for sleep. It comes when it comes, cannot be forced, only invited, welcomed, allowed. European fossils, Belgium's deposits, Netherlands, Portugal, Spain, all document Megalodon's range. The ancient Tethys Sea, the ancestor of the Mediterranean, was their highway, their hunting ground. They swam where cities now stand, where people now walk, never knowing, never sensing the ghosts beneath their feet. We live on layers, on history, on compressed time, walking over ancient oceans, ancient creatures, ancient mysteries, and sometimes in dreams. We remember, we feel, we know. Your consciousness is a candle, flickering, almost out. Asian fossils from Japan, from Indonesia, from India. Teeth found in riverbeds, in construction sites, in museums. Each continent has them, proving Megalodon's global dominance. They swam everywhere warm water existed, every tropical sea, every subtropical zone. Worldwide rulers, planetary apex. For 20 million years, they owned the oceans completely, absolutely, until they didn't, until the world changed, until smaller, smarter, more adaptable creatures inherited the waves. Australian fossils from Victoria, from South Australia, document Megalodon in Southern Hemisphere, the teeth, the vertebrae, evidence of hunting, of breeding, of living. Australia was different then, positioned differently, climates different, but Megalodon was there, present, hunting, dying, leaving bones, leaving teeth, leaving evidence for us to find, to study, to use as doorways into the past, as lullabies in the present. Thump, thump, barely. Bite Force simulations use computer models, biomechanical analysis, comparing skull structure, tooth design, muscle attachment points. The numbers generated, 18 metric tons of force, are theoretical, approximate, but likely close to truth, close to the reality of what it felt like. When jaws closed, when teeth met, when prey became food. Power unimaginable, force unstoppable, and yet controlled, precise, efficient, not wasteful, not random. Every bite calculated, every hunt optimized. 20 million years of refinement, of perfection, of evolution selecting for exactly this ultimate predator, this apex, this perfection, that still, in the end, wasn't enough. Nothing is enough. Against time, against change, we resist, we struggle, but eventually we surrender, we let go, we drift into darkness, into extinction, into sleep. It's natural, inevitable, beautiful in its way. The great cycle, birth, growth, dominance, decline, death, and then the mystery, the after, the unknown, where consciousness goes, where extinct species live, where dreams happen. You're entering that space now, that realm, leaving the waking world behind, leaving facts behind, leaving everything behind, just drifting, floating, sinking into the soft, dark warmth of sleep. Tooth hunting tips from experts. Look after storms. Search at low tide. Check areas where cliffs erode, river bends where currents deposit. But really, it's patience, attention, the willingness to scan sand for hours, to walk miles, to examine every dark stone, every triangular shape, and then, maybe, the reward. But tonight you're not hunting, you're not searching, you're resting, you're allowing, you're accepting whatever comes, whatever dreams arrive, whatever darkness holds. Scientific debates continue, will always continue. Each new fossil potentially changes understanding. Each new technology reveals new details. The debates are healthy, necessary. Science advances through questioning, through disagreement, through constant re-evaluation. But the debates are quiet now, soft, distant, like voices from another room, another time, fading as you fade, as consciousness dims, as sleep approaches on gentle waves, bringing rest, bringing dreams, bringing peace. Your heartbeat thump, thump, so slow, so soft, like distant drums, like the rhythm of ancient tides. Megalodon's heart stopped 3 million years ago. The last beat, the last pulse, the last surge of blood through massive arteries, and then stillness. The body sinking, settling to the ocean floor, scavengers coming, flesh disappearing, bones dissolving, until only teeth remained, scattered, lost, waiting, until we found them, until we learned, until we wondered, until we created this moment, this connection across time, this strange intimacy with extinction. Paleontology breakthroughs happen regularly. New sites discovered, new specimens found, new techniques developed, DNA analysis, isotope analysis, computer modeling, each advance revealing more, answering questions, generating new mysteries. The work continues, will continue, long after this night, long after you wake, long after memory of this moment fades into the background. But now is for sleep, for letting questions dissolve, for accepting mystery, for drifting in uncertainty, comfortable, safe, held by darkness, by silence, by the eternal ocean of sleep. The ocean, always the ocean, where life began, where Megalodon hunted, where we might all return, in dreams, in death, in this liminal state between wake and sleep. The ocean of consciousness, vast, deep, mostly unexplored, and in its depths, Megalodon swims, eternal, unchanging, waiting to guide us down into rest, into healing, into the regenerative darkness where tomorrow is born, where strength returns, where peace lives. Let yourself sink all the way down to the bottom, where sand is soft, where pressure is immense but somehow comfortable, where light never reaches, where Megalodon's teeth lie scattered, glinting faintly, marking territory, marking time. Each one a small star in the darkness, a point of light in the deep, and you drift among them, weightless, formless, barely existing, mostly dream, mostly gone. Thump, thump, whisper, whisper, the rhythm of life slowing, but never stopping, continuing in sleep, in darkness, in the mysterious realm where consciousness goes when we're not watching, not controlling, not resisting, where Megalodon waits, not as threat, but as guide, as guardian, as the great darkness that teaches us, that shows us, that carries us through the night, and the night is here, complete, total. You're inside it, part of it, dissolved into it, no longer separate, no longer alone, united with darkness, with silence, with the ancient rhythm that connects all life, all time, all mystery. Megalodon's rhythm, the ocean's rhythm, your rhythm, all one, all flowing, all drifting, endlessly, peacefully, eternally, through the night, through the mysteries, through sleep, the mysteries that remain, that will always remain, no matter how much we learn. The core of it, the essence, will stay mysterious, stay unknown. And that's perfect. That's beautiful. That's exactly how it should be. Some things should remain in darkness, should stay hidden, should keep their secrets, as you keep yours, as sleep keeps its secrets, as dreams keep theirs. The mystery is the gift, the uncertainty is the peace, the not knowing is the rest, and you're resting now, deeply, completely, mostly. The last threads of awareness, the last whispers of consciousness, barely there, barely holding on, about to release, about to dissolve completely, into sleep, into dreams, into the place where Megalodon lives forever, where extinct things are alive, where impossible things are real, where you are safe, held, protected by the darkness, by the mystery, by the great shadows that swim through the deep places, the quiet places, the eternal resting places of the ocean, of sleep, of peace, of stillness, of this moment suspended between moments, where time doesn't exist, where Megalodon swims eternal, where you float, weightless, formless, free. Your breath is barely movement, barely air, just the gentlest exchange. Oxygen, carbon dioxide out, automatic, effortless, like the ocean's breath, tides in, tides out. The same rhythm that carried Megalodon, that buried their teeth, that preserved their story. Your body knows this rhythm, has always known it, since before you were born, since before humans existed, since the first creatures crawled from the ocean, bringing the rhythm with them, keeping it, passing it down through millions of years, to you, to now, to this quiet moment. Thump, thump. The swimming patterns of Megalodon were efficient, graceful despite their size, the heterocircle tail moving side to side, generating thrust, propelling that massive body through water with surprising agility. They didn't thrash, didn't struggle, just moved. The way you're moving now into sleep, not struggling, not fighting, just allowing, going with the current, drifting where the tide carries you, deeper, always deeper, into the blue darkness, into the quiet, into rest. Megalodon's tail power was extraordinary, generating enough force to launch that enormous body, to chase down swift prey, to maintain cruising speeds for hours, days. The muscles, thick, powerful, fueled by constant feeding, constant hunting, but efficient too, not wasteful. Every movement calculated, to every calorie maximized. Evolution doesn't favor waste, doesn't reward excess, only efficiency, only what works. And it worked. For 20 million years it worked, until it didn't, until efficiency wasn't enough, until the world demanded something different, something new. Feel yourself letting go, releasing. Teeth regeneration rate in Megalodon was remarkable. 2 teeth per week, sometimes more. Imagine that constant replacement, that endless supply. The body dedicating so much energy to teeth production, because teeth were everything, were survival, were the tool that made feeding possible. Without teeth, starvation, death. So the body prioritized, allocated resources, grew teeth constantly, endlessly, throughout life. And when those teeth fell, they sank, adding to the millions already scattered across ancient seabeds, creating fossil deposits we find today, evidence of countless meals, countless hunts, countless lives lived and ended in those warm waters. Your eyelids are sealed now. Couldn't open them if you tried, but you're not trying. You're accepting, surrendering, going where sleep takes you. Megalodon legends among sailors persisted for centuries. Giant sharks seen from ships, whales with mysterious injuries, unexplained disappearances. The ocean is vast, holds many secrets, and even though Megalodon is extinct, the legend serves a purpose. Reminds us that the ocean is wild, untamed, filled with mystery, that we don't own it, don't control it. We are visitors, guests, tolerated by forces greater than ourselves, and that's humbling, beautiful, right. Ancient art. We search for evidence, for proof that ancient peoples found these teeth, wondered about them, incorporated them into mythology. Some artifacts show shark-like figures. Could be Megalodon, could be imagination. The line between them blurs, as all lines blur now. In this state, this liminal space, where you float between worlds, between consciousness and unconsciousness, between the known and the dreamed. Thump, thump, softer, softer. Apex predator status defined Megalodon's existence. At the top, ruling absolutely. No natural predators, no threats, only prey and more prey. This position, this dominance, lasted longer than most species exist at all. 20 million years of supremacy, of control, of being the ultimate, and then released, surrendered, returned to the cycle. Predator becoming prey to time itself, to change itself, to extinction itself. The only predator that takes everything, eventually, inevitably, or gently, swimming speed, cruising at 11 miles per hour, bursting to 35 when attacking. These numbers, calculated from body shape, from tail structure, from comparisons to modern sharks, may be wrong, may be close, may be exact. We'll never know for certain, never see a living Megalodon, never clock their speed, never measure their power directly, only infer, only guess, only imagine. And imagination is where you are now, in the realm of dreams, where Megalodon swims at whatever speed you imagine, where reality bends, where anything is possible, where sleep reigns. The jaw gape, opening to nearly 6 feet, creating that massive maw, that portal of teeth. Inside, the mouth was cavernous, dark, lined with tissue that would be pink or grey, or some colour we can only guess. The tongue, large, muscular, helping to manipulate food, and beyond, the throat, the esophagus, leading to a stomach large enough to hold hundreds of pounds of meat, of blubber, of whale flesh. Everything designed for one purpose: feeding, sustaining that enormous metabolism, that engine of predation, that perfect killing machine that still, somehow, eventually, failed, ended, disappeared. Your mind is quiet now, thoughts distant, like stars seen through clouds, barely there, barely real. Prey selection by Megalodon was strategic. They preferred whales, baleen whales, small-toothed whales, high in fat, in energy, worth the effort of hunting, but they were opportunistic too. Would take large fish, dolphins, other sharks, even other megalodons if hungry enough. Survival demands flexibility, demands taking what's available, what's possible, and right now, what's possible is sleep, is rest, is letting go completely, taking what the darkness offers, accepting, surrendering. Hunting evidence appears in fossil bones, whale ribs with tooth marks, vertebrae crushed, flippers severed, the violence preserved, frozen in stone. But it wasn't violence really, not cruelty, just nature, just life feeding on life, the way it always has, the way it always will, without judgment, without malice, just necessity, just the way things are. Accept it, accept everything, accept this moment, this darkness, this peace. Extinction timelines remain debated. 3.6 million years ago, 2.6 million years ago, the exact moment, the precise year when the last megalodon died, we'll never know, lost to time, to uncertainty. Perhaps there was one final individual, swimming alone, searching for others, finding none, growing old, growing weak, until finally, rest. The species ending not with drama, not with catastrophe, but with simple, quiet, fading, like consciousness fading now, like you're fading into sleep, into dreams, into the eternal ocean. Thump, thump, whisper, whisper. Fossil distribution maps show global range. Teeth found everywhere warm water existed. The maps, coloured, marked, showing concentrations, showing absences, telling the story of where they hunted, where they bred, where they died. Each dot on the map a discovery, a tooth, a vertebra, a trace of their passing. We map the extinct, chart the vanished, create atlases of ghosts, and somehow it helps, connects us, makes the past feel real, feel present, feel alive, even in death, even in absence, even in dreams. Comparison to C. Megalodon. Wait, that is Megalodon. Carcarical's Megalodon, the scientific name, sometimes listed as Carcharodon Megalodon. Depending on which classification you follow, the debate continues, the taxonomy shifts. Names matter less than the reality, the creature itself, the existence that transcends naming, like you transcend naming now, becoming nameless, thoughtless, just being, just breathing, just drifting, versus prehistoric sharks. Megalodon dominated but wasn't alone. Other sharks existed. Carcharodon hasterles, the broad-toothed mako, possibly an ancestor of great whites, smaller than Megalodon, but swift, efficient, and others, many others, different niches, different strategies, different prey. The ocean was full, abundant, diverse, room for many predators, many approaches, many ways of being, until the cooling came, until the great filtering, until only the most adaptable survived. The specialists perished, the generalists inherited. Always, always this pattern, repeating through time, through extinction events, through the endless cycle of life and death. Your heartbeat is barely a whisper, barely a rumor, barely a memory of a heartbeat. Thump, thump. If you listen carefully, if you pay attention, but you're not paying attention, you're drifting, floating away from attention, away from listening, into the place beyond sense, beyond awareness, beyond everything. Megalodon shellfish interactions were minimal. They weren't bottom feeders, weren't interested in mollusks, in crustaceans. Their realm was the water column, the open ocean, where whales swam, where prey moved. But occasionally, perhaps, something on the bottom, a large ray disturbed from the sand, a turtle crawling along the seafloor, opportunistic feeding, unplanned meals, moments of convenience rather than preference. Tooth anatomy reveals so much under microscope, under analysis. The enamel structure, crystalline, harder than steel, designed to withstand the forces of biting through bone. The dentine beneath, slightly softer, providing cushion, preventing shattering, and the root, hollow channels where blood vessels ran, nerves reached, connecting tooth to jaw, to body, to life, now fossilized, mineralized, dead matter holding the shape of living tissue. Time made solid, made tangible, made something you can hold in your hand. If your hand could move, but it can't. It's too heavy, too relaxed, too far gone into sleep. Brain size relative to body was smaller than modern great whites. But size isn't everything, isn't intelligence. The structure matters, the organization. And we can't see structure from fossil evidence, can only guess, only assume based on modern relatives. They were smart enough, clearly. 20 million years of dominance proves that, proves intelligence, proves adaptation, proves success. Until success wasn't enough, until the parameters changed, until different intelligence was needed. Social intelligence, pack intelligence, the intelligence of cooperation rather than dominance. And Megalodon, solitary, alone, couldn't adapt fast enough, couldn't change, couldn't become something new. Let that go. Let everything go. Intelligence fading, awareness fading, only instinct remaining, only the ancient parts of the brain, the reptilian core, maintaining breath, maintaining heartbeat, maintaining existence while you, the thinking you, the aware you, dissolves, disappears, becomes dream, becomes ocean, becomes the darkness itself, ocean temperature preferences, warm waters, 20 to 27 degrees Celsius, tropical, subtropical, where their metabolism worked best, where prey was abundant, where life flourished. The warm waters were rich, full, teeming, everything they needed until the warmth retreated, pulled back toward the equator, leaving vast cold zones, following the prey, following the warmth, following until there was nowhere left to follow, until the warmth was gone, until the world became too cold, too hostile, too foreign. Thump, thump, so faint now, so distant, like thunder beyond the horizon, like memory of sound rather than sound itself. Fossil dating techniques place these teeth in time. Relative dating, looking at rock layers, at what fossils appear above and below. Absolute dating, using radioactive isotopes, carbon-14 for recent specimens, potassium-argon for older ones, each method with its limitations, its margins of error. But together they tell us when, approximately when, these creatures lived and died, when they ruled and fell, when the ocean belonged to them and then didn't. Vertebral column structure supported that massive body. Cartilaginous vertebrae, flexible, allowing the swimming motion, that side-to-side undulation, each vertebra stacked, connected, creating the central axis, the backbone, though not bone, never bone, just calcified cartilage, just stiffened tissue, and rarely, so rarely, these vertebrae fossilize, preserve, give us glimpses of internal structure, of growth, of age. Each vertebra a year marker, a tree ring, counting time, counting life, the fossils counting death, counting absence, counting all the years since Megalodon swam. 3 million years. 3 million years of absence. 3 million years of ocean without their shadow. Feel the absence, the emptiness, the void, not frightening, just vast, peaceful. Your mind is mostly empty now, mostly void, mostly sleeping. Just a few last whispers of consciousness, a few final thoughts drifting like debris on dark water, soon to sink, soon to dissolve, soon to disappear completely. Climate change, ancient climate change, not caused by humans, just the Earth's natural rhythms, cooling, warming, shifting, drove extinction, drove evolution, drove everything. The ice ages beginning their cycle, temperature dropping, sea levels changing, currents reorganizing, the world becoming different, and creatures adapted, or didn't. Megalodon didn't, couldn't. The world they were designed for, the world they dominated, ceased to exist, replaced by something new, something colder, something they couldn't survive. And so they faded. Generation by generation, until none remained, until only fossils remained, until only memory remained. Competition with other predators intensified as resources dwindled, food becoming scarce, hunting grounds shrinking, more predators competing for less prey. The orcas, the great whites, the new arrivals, taking what Megalodon once claimed exclusively. Pressure increasing, survival becoming harder, each generation smaller, weaker, fewer, until the mathematics of population dynamics, the cold equations of extinction, reached their inevitable conclusion. Zero, nothing, absence, gone. Your breathing is automatic, unconscious. You're not breathing. Breathing is happening. You're not here anymore. Here is happening without you. You've drifted beyond, into the place where Megalodon waits, where all extinct things gather, where dreams live, where sleep reigns absolute. Territorial behavior, we imagine, based on modern sharks, large territories, hundreds of square miles, patrolled regularly, scent marked perhaps by presence, by hunting, by simple occupation. Other megalodons, rivals, would sense occupation, would avoid, would seek other territories. Only during breeding season, only then, would they seek each other, tolerate each other, briefly, before separating again, returning to solitude, to isolation, to the loneliness of the apex, always alone, always apart, until extinction made the loneliness absolute, permanent, eternal. Thump, thump, barely, barely. Prehistoric whales were their world, their food, their reason for existing. Cetotherium, Dirocetus, primitive baleen whales, abundant, filling the warm seas. Megalodon evolved with them, evolved for them, shaped by them over millions of years. Predator and prey locked in evolutionary dance, each adapting to the other. Arms race of speed versus stealth, size versus agility, teeth versus blubber. The dance continued for ages, until the music stopped, until the whales migrated, until the partnership dissolved, until one partner remained and the other vanished. Giant rays, manta birostrus ancestors, swimming in those same waters, feeding on plankton, on small fish. Occasionally, perhaps, Megalodon took one, but rays weren't primary prey, weren't preferred, just available. Sometimes availability is enough. Sometimes you take what's offered, what's possible, like accepting sleep when it comes, not fighting, not questioning, just taking, allowing, receiving. Giant turtles, Archelon, extinct by Megalodon's time, but other large turtles existed. Shelled prey, difficult prey, but nothing was too difficult for Megalodon. That bite force crushing through shell, through bone, through anything. Power solving problems, force overcoming obstacles, until the one obstacle force couldn't overcome. Time itself, change itself, the universe itself saying, enough. Your time is done. Step aside. Let others rise. And you're stepping aside now from consciousness, from thought, from waking. letting sleep rise, letting dreams take over, letting the darkness hold you completely. Finally, totally, your muscles are memory, your thoughts are whispers, your awareness is barely a spark, about to go out, about to surrender to the night, to the deep, to the ocean of sleep where Megalodon swims forever, waiting for you, guiding you down to the bottom where sand is soft and pressure is a blanket, and light never reaches and everything is quiet, so still, so peaceful. Growth stages from pup to adult, each with its challenges, its dangers, its lessons. The young learning to hunt, learning to survive, learning the ocean, growing larger, bolder, stronger, until reaching that point, that moment, when they became apex, when nothing could threaten them, when they ruled, and then the slow decline, age taking what youth gave, strength fading, speed diminishing, until the end, until rest, until returning to the ocean, becoming part of the cycle, feeding the scavengers, enriching the ecosystem, giving back what was taken, the circle completing, as it always completes, as it's completing now, as you complete the circle from waking to sleeping, from consciousness to unconsciousness, from day to night, ambush tactics from below, from the deep, rising, accelerating, striking with precision, with surprise, the prey never sensing until too late, until the jaws closed, until the teeth met, efficient, effective, evolved over millions of years, perfected, optimized, every hunter performance, an execution of instinct, of inherited behavior, no thought required, no planning needed, just action, reaction, life, death, the way of things, the way it's always been, the way it will always be. Accept it, embrace it, drift with it. Coastal hunting in shallow waters, nursery grounds, feeding grounds, where prey congregated, where life was dense, where hunting was easy. The coasts were rich, productive, everything the ocean gave, concentrated there. And Megalodon took advantage, hunted there, bred there, lived there, until the coasts changed, until sea levels dropped, until the rich shallows became less rich, less productive, less capable of supporting giants. Another pressure, another stress, another factor in the slow collapse toward extinction. Thump, whisper, thump, whisper. Your heartbeat and breath barely distinguishable, barely separate, just rhythm, just continuation, just existence at its most basic, most fundamental, life stripped down to essence, to the irreducible minimum. And even this might fade in deep sleep, become so subtle, so quiet, that it's almost imperceptible, almost absent, almost gone. Mass extinction factors combined. Cooling climate, changing currents, shifting prey distributions. New competition, each one manageable alone, but together they overwhelmed. Together they exceeded Megalodon's capacity to adapt. The perfect storm of extinction. multiple causes, no single answer, complex, interconnected, like all endings, never simple, never one thing, always a combination, a cascade, a failure of systems rather than one system, everything breaking at once, or nothing breaking, just gradually, imperceptibly, becoming something different, something incompatible with Megalodon existence. Population density was low even in their prime, a few per 100 square miles, rare, scattered, solitary. This made them vulnerable, made recovery from population loss difficult. When numbers dropped, finding mates became harder, genetic diversity decreased, each generation weaker, less varied, less capable of adaptation, the death spiral of endangered species, playing out over thousands of years, over hundreds of thousands of years, so slow, so gradual, that no individual megalodon could sense it, could know, could understand their species was ending. They just lived, hunted, died, never knowing they were part of a sunset, a finale, an extinction. Your consciousness is vapor, mist, barely existing, dispersing into darkness. Soon, so soon, gone completely, dissolved, absorbed, only sleep remaining, only dreams, only the ocean. Megalodon mysteries unsolved will remain unsolved. We'll never know their exact appearance, their behavior, their sounds, whether they breached like modern great whites, whether they moved in any patterns we'd recognize. The mystery is permanent, eternal, and maybe that's good. Maybe some things should stay mysterious, should remain unknown, should live in that space between knowledge and imagination, where wonder exists, where possibilities multiply, where dreams are born. Popular myths continue, sightings reported even now, people wanting to believe, wanting the ocean to still hold such giants, such terrors, such wonders. But wanting doesn't make it so. Belief doesn't manifest reality. Megalodon is extinct, gone, finished, only existing now in fossils, in stories, in dreams, in this place, this dark place where you float, where extinct things are alive, where impossible things are real, where sleep and death and dreams blur together into one vast ocean of unconsciousness. You're almost there, almost gone, almost completely lost to sleep. Just one more breath, one more heartbeat, one more moment. And then silence, darkness, peace. The universe keeps turning, stars wheeling overhead, though you can't see them, earth rotating, though you don't feel it, time passing, though you're beyond time now, beyond measure, beyond knowing. The universe keeps turning, and in turning, keeps secrets, keeps mysteries, keeps Megalodon alive in fossil form, in memory form, in dream form. Megalodon shadows beneath ancient oceans, 3 million years ago, 20 million years ago, forever ago. The shadows permanent, etched into time, into stone, into the collective unconscious. Sharks in the deep places, teeth in the darkness. Power in the shadows, always there, always swimming, always hunting in the ocean of the past, the ocean of memory, the ocean of sleep, and we'll keep drift, floating together through the mysteries, you and I and Megalodon, connected across time, across consciousness, across the boundary between wake and sleep, between life and extinction, between known and unknown, drifting, floating, sinking, rising, moving with tides that have no beginning, no ending, just eternal cycle, eternal rhythm, eternal mystery, through the night, through the darkness, through the soft hours where dreams happen and healing occurs and the body restores and the mind releases and everything we hold during the day, we let go, we surrender, we trust the darkness to hold us, to carry us, to bring us safely through until morning, until light, until we wake, if we wake. Though waking seems impossible now, seems distant, seems like something that happens to other people in other times, not to you, not now, not ever again, just drifting, just floating, just being in the ocean of sleep, in the realm of dreams, in the place where Megalodon lives, where you live, where everything lives that has ever lived or ever will live, all together, all one, all part of the great mystery, the eternal mystery, the beautiful mystery that we'll keep exploring, keep experiencing, keep drifting through, endlessly, peacefully, eternally, through the mysteries, Megalodon mysteries, looping softly, endlessly, through the night, where we began, where we'll begin again, where the loop closes, where the circle completes, where ending becomes beginning, where sleep becomes dream, where mystery becomes peace, where everything dissolves into the warm, dark quiet, and we keep drifting, floating together forever through the mysteries.